This meeting and all other meetings of this committee are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the press according to with the Wisconsin statute, so citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of the meeting. Roll call.
Licky,
Here.
Appleby,
Here.
Edwards is not here.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 13th, 2017.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Big two of us. Go into closed session,
We could,
or do you want
we can stay in the open, actually.
it? Okay.
Just some clarification on some dates and the item. Yeah, we could stay in the open, so we could just decline
Okay.
to go into close if you'd like.
Okay. Decline to go into closed session.
Second
Make
that.
a motion, I guess. All in
Yeah,
favor?
if you don't make a motion to go into closed session, it's the same as just not going, so you don't have to make a motion. You can just
Okay.
move on if you'd like.
Okay. We just go on to number 4 then?
Yeah.
Discussion, possibility actions of Mill Pond Circle properties.
So just a quick comment here, and we can get this out on the street this week. I have a couple proposals on dates, but I want to say the night after our last meeting or the day after is when I had, I guess, found out that eventually I'll be leaving on May 1st. And so the question I have for you is, we were looking at like 3-4 weeks from whenever this gets posted to have an open public meeting, an informational meeting. And then from there, roughly 45 days from the date we put it out, 3-4 weeks later, we would have the proposals due, and then they would go to the May Common Council meeting, and the Common Council would review in closed session. I think we can still do that yet and still meet a May 15th Common Council decision. So it'd be closed session review and then a vote to award or to move forward with certain proposals, so that can still stay online. But when you look at your screen here, we are looking at just the pink items, filling those in. The restrictive covenants talk about completing projects, I believe it's 24 months, and so it's already in the covenants. I believe when it comes to a performance bond, we were looking at $10,000 for a performance bond. The only verification I have with that is the average price per lot is like $10,900, so I don't know if that $900 was a big difference or not. If you wanted to hold a $10,000 performance bond, or $10,900 or $11,000, I mean, I think we had $10,000. Does that seem adequate? Okay. Pick a date. This is when we're looking at having an open public meeting. I will still be here that last week in April, and so that Tuesday might work out to be a good night. That'd be 3 weeks from tomorrow, and then there would be roughly 3 weeks then to when these proposals might be due. And so I just wanted to verify with you guys if on Tuesday, April 25th, Public Property and Purchasing Committee shall hold a public meeting to address questions. One of the things that I'm gonna go to all the other committees with is, I think it would be appropriate that once the new council is sworn in on the 18th and all the committees are realigned, I think it would be helpful if the week before my last week here, maybe they all meet on some level to lay out where are we at with projects. And so if we're gonna do that already, Tuesday the 25th kinda locks right in line there, so that probably makes sense. Tuesday, April 25th, we'll set a time, but what we would do then is we'd invite people, and like I said, then we got 3 weeks. We've got these advertised for 3 weeks. So I will have that down Tuesday, April 25th. From there, on the top of the second page here, we're looking at a proposal deadline. And what I will do is back up from this next paragraph, we're talking about the regular common council meeting on May 15th. So if we backed up maybe to Thursday, the 10th, that should give Thursday, Friday, the weekend, and then that Monday then to review proposals. It's not sealed bids, so we'll have time to review it. Does May 10th sound sufficient for a due date on these proposals? That way it's a Thursday,
May
Friday.
11th, is the Thursday.
May 10th, I think I meant Wednesday then.
Wednesday?
And then, yeah, okay, my dates are off because May 10th, the Wednesday, and then you get Thursday, Friday, and the meeting itself is Monday night then. So Thursday, Friday, you'd have some type of a review. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're looking at proposals due May 10th, that's a Wednesday. My apologies there. And then they would be due, the common council would meet in closed session on the 15th to review them. We'd then go into open session to take any action. And then the only other question that I have is, it might be appropriate to have two contacts for people that have questions, because I will be here to and through May 1st. So I will be able to cover the open public meeting and a week after that, and then from there you'll have May 2nd through the 10th when these are due. One of the things that I thought was, because the Public Property Committee is sort of running this proposal to then bring it to the full council meeting, it might make sense that whoever's the chair of the Public Property Committee might be another contact. Now, I'd like to say that that's Rich, but if on April 18th the committees would shift somehow, you know, if you just designate the chair of the Public Property Committee, I think that would be appropriate. And not that I put in a picture that it really matters to me how the committees are restructured, but if Rich ends up being the chair of the committee again, well, that's a nice, easy transition then too. Does that make sense? Okay, so maybe what we'll do is just add, and I'll check with you maybe on appropriate contact information if you'd wanna put your name down there too, so it'd be myself or chair of the committee, Rich Lipke. Other than that, we should be able to get this, advertised no later than Wednesday this week, if that's all good to go. I just wanted to double check all those dates, especially with me leaving on May 1st, kind of in between here. I think you can still keep a pretty good schedule and still keep it in line for the May Common Council meeting though, if those dates all make sense. Okay? Okay, I don't know if you guys wanna make a motion to approve the timeline then?
Jack, you had a question there?
Yeah, I got a question. You're gonna open proposals and approve 1, 2, 3? Are we limited, or?
We are
I mean,
not,
I guess what I'm thinking is if this day and age, unless it happened, I'd be surprised, but if we get XYZ Construction comes in, wants to buy 2 lots and
It's
spec
part of
2
the-
houses, and
part of the document.
JBY wants to come in and build 2 spec houses, it'd be wise for us to take both of them, wouldn't it?
So on the screen there, where I've got it highlighted,
Okay,
as part of this document, it says the city will consider
okay.
proposals to develop
but I
as
mean,
little as
it
one,
could be 2 different,
Well, it could be
or
3,
6,
4,
8,
yeah.
9, yeah. Yep,
that's what I'm getting at, is if,
yep,
I guess I'd feel bad if one Joe Blow come in and said he wants 12 lots and puts up one house and doesn't do another thing for 2 years, you know, or you might have another guy wanting to put one up, at least you got more than one thing going on.
so according to the city attorney who reviewed this, this is the best proposal by not requiring sealed bids, but it's the best proposal to be able to maintain some level of confidentiality.
Yeah.
But, so we have that language there that says the city would consider all types of proposals, as little as 1 lot or for all 21. And then down here, there's a little bit of a, I don't wanna say loose language, but it gives you, it maintains your ability where it says, if the city determines to accept a proposal, depending on the number of lots and nature of the proposed development or other consideration deemed relevant by the city may require negotiation and execution of a development agreement setting development expectations and conditions as a precondition of the sale. There's language, you'll see the word may, if,
So in other words, if
In
somebody
there.
wanted to buy all of them. we
or
would
a
look
number
to-
of them.
We would look to.
What we're relying on here is we're not requiring them as part of this document to build in a certain time. But the covenants do though. And so when we point back to the covenants that are already on file, covenants technically had been filed by the prior owner before we bought them. And so we're sort of relying on a lot of those covenants to
So do they get
regulate
to see the
this.
covenants then?
Yeah, that'll be one of the attachments
Okay,
here. We've got
that's
the
what-
executed copies because we signed it. Weyauwega State signed it, Edward signed it, so did Steve Thomas too.
That's 2 years then, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yep.
The covenant?
24 months.
Yeah.
Cause we figured there's gonna be some real, you know, they might not like the lot that they have, but they might
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
combine.
I
That's
can
why
see
we
that,
kinda
yeah.
put that in there like that.
Yeah. So it's a good, that's, the problem with this is because we don't know what's all out there, I mean, that's why we're doing this process, is to try to get proposals. And it gives you flexibility to, you know, modify, or if 15 people come and give a proposal on one of the lots, you can move the second best, the third best, and gives you the ability to, I guess, negotiate with, anybody that doesn't, you know, win or get awarded one of the lots that they want. So,
Did you ever get those pictures from the county?
we should have that, so the reason why I say Wednesday rather than tomorrow is it should be, tomorrow, Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Mhm.
Those are just really nice, so. it'd be
Oh,
good-
yeah,
good
for
to
sure.
Put it in there.
For sure. Yep, yep. Okay. Did we make a
So I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the timeline for the property.
Yep.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Number 5, discussion, possibility action on request modification of Hangover Street and right away.
so what's going to happen, and we talked about this, there's two potential routes that they could take here. I think what's going to happen is, as you look at this house, which we looked at the last meeting, right now, the house, as it's proposed, would jut into this right-of-way right here. And it would, no matter what, come into this setback. So what they're going to do, from my understanding, is they're gonna propose to move the house to the east into the front setback, and then apply for variance to be able to get that approved. And then that way they could get the house approved, I mean, cause it makes sense, it would meet requirements to be able to get a variance. And then from there, in order to maintain a yard off to the west side, they would then file a request with the variance so that we would kinda have a parallel process to review vacating the right of way. But to get the house built, as long as they keep it on their own property, but if it's into the setback, they can get a variance and keep it rolling, so. We sent all the information over to the builder, which is this company, I think they're out of Fremont. So, that's all I have, just an update only, so there's no action to be taken yet on this, we basically just told them that they would have to submit a formal request for a right-of-way vacation, and we're waiting that.
Are we gonna do anything with that lot? Are we gonna deed that over to them, or?
That's what they would be asking, so when we talk about this right-of-way request, they would have to request to be able to do it, and that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I would hope we would do that, but then we gotta agree with what Dad's got there too on that. Would you say storm sewers underneath?
There's storm sewer, you need a storm sewer easement over the top of it.
Right,
Yeah, as long as everybody's aware of that, I mean.
and that's what we talked about with the homeowner and the contractors, we told them that if this was going to go for a vacation,
Yeah,
to get everything cleaned up where we have an easement to maintain what we have there, that process is probably like 2 months from the
Yeah.
date that you know you're gonna do it to when you complete it. And a variance might be like 3 weeks. So what they wanna do is apply for the variance first, get rolling on the house, and then while the house is going up, have this other process.
okay,
But they're going to ask, so they've just sort of informally asked whether it'd be possible, and they're gonna come back and submit a request to say, here's where we're gonna build the house, here's our variance,
yeah, it'd be nice to have that whole corner cleaned up and
Mhm.
the yard and everything there.
for sure,
Doesn't do us any good there.
right? That's about all I've got. That's just an update only on that one.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second. All in favor?